moved into Oakdale in 1956 to start second grade. Moved out of Brooklyn, where much of my neighborhood came from. We moved out after I finished first grade. We had the whole summer to get acquainted with everyone in the neighborhood. Summer ended, and all of a sudden I was alone. Everyone went to school. My parents hadn't signed me up yet. But I knew where the school was, and I figured they have to come out sometime. So I got on my two-wheeler, pedaled from Dale Drive over to the Oakdale Public School, as it was known at the time. And
where was that?
it's where Premm is now.
Okay.
And
was it called Montauk Highway School?
it was Oakdale Public School.
Mm-hmm.
It became Montauk Highway School, I think, when I got into junior high. And then after a while, they named it after Arthur Premm.
Mm-hmm.
But let me finish starting in school. So I pedaled down to the school, and they're all in their classrooms, and I said, they've got to come out eventually. So I open the doors, there's steps there, and I sit there just figuring, I know they're gonna come out. This man comes up to me and says, shouldn't you be in class? And I explain the situation to him. We just moved out. He goes back to his office, he gets some paperwork. Take this home to your parents and bring it back tomorrow. That was the principal, George Graham. He also wound up being the superintendent of the whole district by the time we got to high school, and I wound up graduating with his daughter Lorna Graham. But as you said, it was Oakdale School. It became Montauk Highway School, and then they decided to name it after Arthur Premm. I knew Artie Premm. Arthur Premm ran a Texaco station by the Oakdale train station. As Oakdale-Bohemia Road comes down to Montauk, it sat there on the east side. You had a few tanks and a few bays where the vehicles could be repaired, and right next to that was the post office. And I don't think we had delivery at that point because we had to buy a box. So we'd go in every day, check to see what stuff came in. But Artie Premm was an interesting character. And why did they name the school after him? He was on the school board. And as school boards are put together, you don't necessarily have to be an educator to be on the school board. He was a significant part of the business community. Everybody knew him because you have to go to the post office. And we had a car. You needed a car out here. There were no subways like we had in Brooklyn. And when the car wasn't working, you'd call up the most reputable mechanic in town, and that was Artie Premm. This still gets to me when I think about it. If you're sick and you need to go to a doctor, they don't do house calls anymore. Artie Premm did house calls. He would pull up in his Model A Ford pickup, park at the curb, knock on the door. Mrs. Birkeland, give me the keys, I'll take it and I'll bring it back when it's done. And that's what he did. Neat guy.
Wow.
Very charming person, reminds me a lot of, who's the guy who played Rockford on the Rockford Files?
Oh,
James
yes.
McMillan?
Oh,
No.
James Garner.
James Garner. Yeah.
James Garner.
Okay.
You know, he had that kind of smile and that kind of personality.